So welcome back to English with Archie. Hello. Today we are looking at the Olympics. So the Olympics are starting in Tokyo in just over a week, and today we're going to look at some of the vocabulary and phrases that you can use to talk about the Olympics in English. Now first today we're going to start with a little bit of history, so I'll explain how the Olympics started. So the first Olympic Games were held in Greece in 776 BC, and they continued for about 1,000 years, or a bit more, until 393 AD, when a Roman emperor banned them. Now, I don't know why they banned them, and I don't know which Roman emperor, so if you know, or if you can find out, then let me know in the comments below. Now, there were no Olympic Games until the end of the 19th century, 1896. So what was that? 1518 years, maybe? Something like that. And then they started again, okay? And they went every 4 years since then. Now, how they start the Olympic Games is first by lighting the Olympic torch, and this is pretty cool. So they have a mirrored ball in which they light the torch using the sun's rays, and they do this in Olympia, which is where the Olympic Games were originally held. And then from there, the torch is carried around the world until it reaches the host country and host city, which is the place where the games are held that year. This year being Tokyo. So let's have a look at some of those first important phrases. So we have host city or host country. This is the country who is hosting the games that year. This year the host city is Tokyo. Now the torch is carried all the way around the world until it reaches the host city, where they then light the Olympic cauldron. And the Olympic cauldron is usually designed by someone in the host country, so it's different every time. A cauldron is typically a big metal black bowl in which we can cook things. When we think of cauldrons, we think of witches, or I do anyway. We don't use this word very often anymore. However, the Olympic cauldron usually or sometimes is in that shape and it is on fire, so they call it a cauldron. Now, the Olympics, there are the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics. So there are two different forms. The Summer, which are held every 4 years, and the Winter Olympics, which are held every 2 years. There's also the Paralympics. What are they? Well, they are the Olympics for people with disabilities. And after the Olympics, the Paralympics start, both in the summer and in the winter versions of the Olympics. And finally, after the cauldron is lit, the opening ceremony of an Olympic Games can begin. And that's when a country shows off their artistic skills by having various performers, musicians, dancers, etc. to perform and show off the culture of the host country or host city. Now, let's have a little look at the sports that are included in the Olympic Games. Now, there are about 35, and I'm not going to go through every one. Obviously, you can Google search if you want to find every sport, but I'm just going to go through a few of them for you. So first of all, we have archery. So archery uses a bow and an arrow to hit a target, okay? So that's our first sport. Then we have weightlifting, where someone tries to carry a very, very, very heavy weight. Then there's also fencing. So in fencing, you have two people fighting with swords. Okay? And the type of sword is called an épée. An épée. Okay, that is the kind of sword that people use when they do fencing. Next of all, we have gymnastics. Gymnastics include a few different sports, but one of them is the pommel horse, which is a pretend kind of horse on which someone can do gymnastics. This is one of my favourite ones to watch. I don't know why, I just find it very satisfying to watch. I think if I were to do an Olympics event, I would do a form of gymnastics, and maybe I would do the pommel horse. And then we have martial arts, and martial arts can include a few different types: judo, karate, etc. And you can see in this picture some martial arts, two people fighting and doing martial arts. So then we have athletics, and athletics includes, again, a variety of different sports. So there is discus, okay, where people throw a disc and they have to throw it as far as they can. There is also running, okay, where people run on a track, and there are different forms. So there is running with hurdles, just called hurdles, where people have to jump over the hurdle while they run, jump over these obstacles. And there are also relay races, where people have a baton and they have to run, pass the baton onto another person, and they run. So this is a team running sport. And then last of all, there are different types of jumping events. So the high jump, the long jump, and the triple jump. Okay, so let's have a think about what happens when people win. Well, the phrase we use is to come in first place, second place, or third place. So if someone comes in first, second, or third place, then they will get a medal, okay? A ring of metal with a ribbon which they can wear. And the three medals are gold, silver, and bronze. Gold being for the person who comes in first place, silver for the person who comes in second, and bronze for the person who comes in third. And those people go to stand on a podium. So a podium is a structure with 3 levels. And if you are in first place, then you stand on the highest level. And if you are in third place, you stand on the lowest level, and second place on the middle level. And what else happens? Well, if you're first in an event, then your flag is put up and your national anthem is played. Now, sometimes, an interesting fact is that sometimes people do not want to play their own national anthem, okay? Depending on the political situation in their country. Sometimes people have asked to play a different anthem. And also, the anthems must be 80 seconds long. So usually a special, shortened version of the anthem is created and played. So that's what happens if you win, or if you come in first, second, or third. Now let's have a look at the venues. So a venue is a place where an event is held. So when someone gets married, they have to choose a venue for the reception. Also for the actual marriage, they might choose a church for the marriage, or they might choose a town hall for the reception, or a hotel. That would be the venue. If you go to a music concert, then it's held at a venue. There are a variety of different venues you can go to see music concerts. So in the Olympic Games, obviously, there are lots of different sports, and they are all in different venues. So first of all, we have a stadium. Now, when you think of football, think of a stadium, okay? A stadium is round or oval, and it has seats all around the sides, and sometimes a little roof, but it's usually open to the air, okay? okay? So that's a stadium. And we also have the word arena. An arena is really the same thing, but usually an arena has a roof, okay? So where people play basketball, that's an arena. However, English speakers do mix up these words, stadium and arena, sometimes. So there's also a track. Now that's where we would cycle or we would run. So the track, okay? And finally, a few more. The swimming pool, where people swim. An ice rink would be in the Winter Olympics, where people do skating or where people do ice hockey. And then finally, a boxing ring where people can box. So that's pretty much all of the venues that you might see in an Olympics event, okay? There's also a tennis court, but that's usually held in an arena. A basketball court, again, that is in an arena usually. Okay, so these are all the different venues. And lastly, let's have a think about the people. Who are the people that are involved in the Olympics? Well, we have athletes, or we have Olympians. An athlete is any sports person, okay? An Olympian is a sports person who is participating or has participated in the Olympics. So that would be an Olympian. We also have medalist. A medalist is a person who has won a medal. Here we have the bronze medalist for swimming from the 2012 Olympics, okay, for example. We also have the words coach and trainer. Coaches and trainers both help to train people to do the sport or to do the event, okay? A trainer usually helps one person and a coach usually helps a team of people, okay? Another distinction we can make is that a trainer is usually more focused on the physical readiness of a person, an athlete, to do the sport. So they will help them in the swimming pool. They will go to the gym with them and help them to improve their fitness. Whereas a coach is more focused on their technique, their tactics, and their mental readiness to do a sport, okay? But these words are used and are quite similar, okay? Then we also have a judge. Now, not all sports have judges, but if we think about figure skating, which is the sport done on ice, then that has judges, okay? So they need judges for that. Or snowboarding, they need judges for that. So that would be a person who holds up a piece of paper with a number on it, okay? 8, for example. And finally, spectators. Spectators are the people that watch the sports. They spectate. There are 10,000 spectators in the crowd. Crowd is all of the people all together. The crowd goes wild. Okay, when the crowd shouts and is excited, they go wild. And we can also say fans. The fans. People who are really passionate about one team or one country or one sport or one athlete are fans, okay? I am the biggest Usain Bolt fan, okay, for example, we could say. So let's have a look at an Olympics event and see what vocabulary we come across. So here there are 2 athletes fencing and they are wearing protective outfits, and we can see there is Italy and there is Hungary. So you can see their nationalities at the bottom and also their names and their flags of their countries. We can also see in the middle a timer which tells us how long they have played, and we can see they are standing on a platform, a long, thin platform. We can also see that they have épées, which is the name of these swords that they use in fencing. And what else can we see? We can see the score. So Hungary has 5 points, Italy has 0. So the score is 5-0, 5-0. Now it's 6-0, 6-0. Now when someone is winning this well, we can say Hungary is thrashing Italy. Hungary is thrashing Italy. That means they are beating them, and they are beating them by a lot. Thrashing them. Okay? So that's the end of the video today. Now let me know, are you going to watch the Tokyo Olympics this year? And if so, what event are you most interested in watching? As I said, I really like watching the gymnastics events, so I will definitely watch those, amongst other events I'm sure. So, let me know in the comments below. Now remember, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and also here. So do subscribe and click the notification button. And if you ever want to let me know something that you want to learn in English, then just send me a message or an email, which is in my description, my email. And I will see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye.